Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Pennsylvania Association for College Admissions Counseling Virtual College Fair. We have an awesome lineup of institutions for you to hear from this evening, but I have just a couple of quick housekeeping announcements beforehand. First of all, this is a webinar, so your camera and your microphone are off. Our panelists cannot see or hear you this evening. Second, there are more sessions. I hope that you find this really helpful way to learn about multiple schools in a short amount of time. So there's a whole nother hour of these after this session, and then there is tomorrow too. There's 3 hours tomorrow. So we hope that you'll go and sign up for more. This is also being recorded. So the playback of this session and everything that's happening tonight will be available at strivescan.com/Pennsylvania within a week. And finally, we know that you're going to have some questions. So at any time, go ahead and put that question in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. List out your question and then also type the college or university that you're directing your question to so that they can answer appropriately. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to our panelists. So first up, I have the opportunity to introduce to you Marist College. Whenever you're ready.
All right, thank you. Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Kate Budzinski, and I'm the Senior Associate Director of Admission at Marist College. And Marist is located in Poughkeepsie, New York, which is about 90 minutes north of New York City. And as you can see from this picture here, we are located directly on the banks of the Hudson River. So while we have this really beautiful, picturesque campus, we also have great access to New York City, which is amazing for internships and also traveling to us via public transportation. I'm going to go over a few quick facts. We have about 5,000 undergraduate students at Marist, which makes us a small to medium-sized college. And we do have over 40 majors as well, and I'll talk more about those in a moment. We have students coming to Marist from all over the country and all over the world. So there's 47 states and 64 countries represented. And because we are a smaller school, we also have smaller class sizes with a 16:1 student to faculty ratio. Our students are very successful when they leave. So as you can see from the right-hand side, our students are graduating at a very efficient pace compared to students on a national average. And they're also going on to find employment or do something productive really quickly after they leave. These are our areas of study. So it's our majors and minors. I'm not going to talk about every single one, but I just want to give you an idea of the diversity of our programs. So we are a liberal arts focused college with traditional liberal arts majors. But we also have more industry-focused programs, which are some of our more popular programs, like communications and business, computer science, and cybersecurity. We have great fashion design and fashion merchandising programs, as well as a full School of Science and social and behavioral sciences as well. But regardless of what you study at Marist, the cornerstone of our academic philosophy is really hands-on experience. And so in our classrooms, we have about 20 to 25 students on average, and that allows for really hands-on learning. So I'm going to show you a few examples of our on-campus facilities that students use to learn in an experiential way. So this is our gross anatomy lab. It's really utilized by our PA students, and they work with actual cadaver donor bodies to do dissection and research. This is our ESPN teaching control room, where our sports communication students are actually calling the shots during a real live broadcast of a Division I basketball game on campus, and it's broadcast on ESPN3. This is the Marist poll, which you may be familiar with. It is a nationally recognized poll. And, you know, think about political science. You know, it's great for poli-sci students to get involved with the Marist poll because polling is such a big part of politics. So it's open to everyone, but just another example of great hands-on learning opportunities. This is our investment center, which our business students, specifically finance, really get a lot out of. They actually have a part of our college's endowment fund that they can use to trade in the stock market. So again, real life hands-on experience. And then finally, this is our Collective by Emporium, which is basically a student-run fashion boutique on our campus. The fashion merchandising students run the entire store, and the fashion design students create a lot of the items and the garments that are sold in this shop. And then research is also a big part of our academic program. It's really available across all majors, certainly in the sciences, but beyond as well. And we utilize our local resources when it comes to research. So you could see the Hudson River here. Students specifically from the sciences are, routinely going out and collecting samples and analyzing them in our boathouse laboratory. And then along the right-hand side, these are just a couple of local companies, notably IBM and the FDR Library, that house a lot of our students' research as well. Internships are also quite popular. About 85% of our students do at least one internship, and you can intern as close to, being on campus as you like, or even as far away as abroad. So really internships are happening everywhere. They're happening for credit, for pay, sometimes both. And it's really encouraged for our students to do an internship. And these are just a few examples of hallmark internships that we routinely send students to do. In the center is Marist in Manhattan. So we do have a residential program where you can live for a full semester in New York City and do a full-time internship. We also have a similar program in Washington, DC, and then also in London. And these are not all of our internship opportunities, but they're just a handful that we like to highlight because they tend to attract quite a few of our students. Study abroad also, same thing, very popular. We have over 70 destinations around the world where students go in a normal year, and about half of our students are studying abroad at least once, whether it's for a semester, for a couple of weeks, or even for their entire first year in Dublin, Ireland, or Florence, Italy. So that's a very unique option. And then we do have a full campus in Florence, Italy, where some students spend their whole 4 years. In addition to all of those academic opportunities I've talked about, we also have a very thriving social community with over 80 clubs and also Division I sports. So it's nice that we are a smaller D1 school. You get that school spirited environment in a small school setting. And then the housing also plays into our social aspect as well, because most students live on campus all 4 years, and it really adds to that living, learning community. If you liked what you heard, hopefully you are interested in applying. This information is very likely going to be the same for this coming year, but the website will always have the most updated information. But you can just see quickly here are deadlines and the average type of student that we accept to Marist. We are test optional, I want to point that out. And we also have tons of visit opportunities, whether it's in person in a very safe way right now, obviously, but also virtually. And we're basically welcoming you to connect with us in any way that you feel comfortable with. So you can always check out our website for that. And that's how you get in touch with us. So if there's any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A, but also in the future, we're always here to help. So thank you very much.
Hey, thanks so much to you and Marist College. Next up, I have the privilege of introducing to you the University of Charleston. Whenever you're ready, John.
Good evening. How is everybody doing? Sorry if I'm a little out of breath. I just came out of conducting a rehearsal. I'm actually the director of bands here at the University of Charleston, and I actually assist in the recruiting of our 30 different majors. I'm going to share a quick PowerPoint with you and offer you the opportunity to ask some questions in the chat or email us in the end. So we'll share that document with you and we'll get started. So this is our campus here at the University of Charleston. If the PowerPoint actually works with us, here it goes. So at the University of Charleston, let's see if we can get the display settings set up. We're a university comprised of, oops, excuse me. Wow, there we go. So we have roughly 3,000 students. This is the position I'm at, the director of bands, and I work in the business school. I also advise the dance team, and I'm also teaching a professor in education, in the education department. We have 30 majors on campus, 7 graduate programs, and we have some online programs as well. So we have our schools in the arts and sciences. It houses approximately 20 of our majors. From accounting, we have accounting. We also have political science and things of that nature. We have a health sciences program that has a pre-physical assistant program and a pre-pharmacy program. And we have pre-med as well, and pre-dentistry and pre-vet. So here's a list of all of our degrees on campus. You can take a look at them. If you don't see your major on here, well, then you can do something called the multidisciplinary studies. We have lots of students who do multidisciplinary studies in music and prepares them for different opportunities in the arts as well. So we are also a small private campus here in Charleston. We're in a city of about approximately 50,000 people. But what's great about Charleston is that it's the government hub of West Virginia. So the state capitol is literally across the river from us. You can wake up every morning and see it if you really want to. We have students that intern with the political leaders here on campus and the FBI and the DEA, and we have other different political and NGOs that are based here that you can work with. We're the safest campus in West Virginia. We've been rated that like 2 or 3 years in a row, which has been great. If you close your eyes, you can actually walk across campus blindfolded in about 5 minutes. It's a straight shot. We have got 5 buildings. Here's some of those buildings. So we have 5 dormitories, and then we have 5 classroom buildings. We are a Division II school, which is great. And actually our women's basketball is in the Elite 8 this year for Div 2. And if you're a men's volleyball person, we have actually Division I men's volleyball, but we have 20 sports on campus, and 18 of them are competing this spring all at the same time. So we're really fortunate. We have a unique and flexible curriculum as well. We talked about some of those different opportunities with MDS, and we have fast tracks for 3-year degrees in psychology and also a multidisciplinary and some other ones as well, which is great. So you can almost think of it as a pre-professional degree program for your master's. As you can see, these great stats, 95% of our pre-med students are accepted to their first med school choice and nursing boards. Last year, I had 3 nursing students in my bands, and they actually had jobs before the end of the first semester. And what's great about being in Charleston is we have 5 hospitals. We're the medical hub of the state. We even have a women's and children's hospital. We have a cardiac cath lab, and a cardiac center, and a cancer center as well, which is really great. So we have different campus activities, including musical, intramurals. We have about 20 intramural sports. We have monthly planned activities as well on campus. Our Eagle Fest we have every semester, which is basically 2 big parties on campus, which is a great time. In Charleston, even for a small school, has big, for a small city, still has big city opportunities. So this is some of our athletic conferences and achievements. Like I said, the women are in the grade 8 right now. We have a fabulous tennis team, and football is going on right now, which is great here in the spring. So a lot of students are getting a hold of that, and we've been really great with our COVID. So we've been able to secure that and do wonderful things so our students can be able to experience as many things as they can. Scholarship wise, this is our academic scholarship pool scale. We self-report GPA, which is great. So before your transcript from home even gets there, you can self-report your GPA, and we can guesstimate what's your academic award. And then above that is where you can get those talent scholarships, like for music and for innovation and for athletics and things of that nature. We also offer these affordability things as well. You can have your SAT or ACT reported to us. We do not require it, but we encourage it, but you can also apply without it. We just don't believe that a 4-hour test defines you as a person. So what you need to do is get online and apply for us for free, which is great. Get that transcript from home taken care of, and we'll waive your application fee. And then once you're accepted, we can talk about scholarship opportunities and get you set up for your first year here at UC. So if you'd like to visit us, you can make a visit to us, but it has to be by appointment, and there is a COVID protocol. And you can always meet with a professor in any major. So like me, if you wanted to come and I wanted to be an accounting major, I could set up an accounting meeting with the accounting, and then you could talk to me about a band or dance scholarship if you wanted to, if you're interested in that. And our admissions representatives are always happy to chat and interact with you via Zoom or Instagram or things of that nature. We love social media here. Susan Will is your representative, and her email is there, susanwill@ucwv.edu, and she'll take your call. She loves to get calls from people, as do I. So don't be afraid to apply to us. That website is super easy to find, ucwv.edu/apply. You can't go wrong, and go ahead and get started. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, John,
Sure.
to you and the University of Charleston. Next up, I have the pleasure to introduce to you the University of Mary Washington.
Hi all, thanks so much for joining me today. My name is Adam Moore, Assistant Director at the University of Mary Washington. Excited to be with you. Just a couple quick facts about the University of Mary Washington. We are located in the Commonwealth of Virginia, about 50 miles south of Washington, D.C., and about 60 miles north of Richmond, Virginia. Really awesome area when it comes to internship opportunities. Campus has about 4,400 undergraduate students. We are predominantly an undergraduate institution at Mary Washington. And within that 4,400 students, there are 3 colleges at the university. We are broken up into the College of Arts and Sciences, the College of Business, and the College of Education. While we are a public liberal arts institution, we are a state school in the Commonwealth. That doesn't mean we only have Virginia residents on campus. 29 states other than Virginia are represented on campus. So we always love seeing our PA students on campus, as well as a lot of the other fantastic students from the Mid-Atlantic region. I'm your rep for Pennsylvania, so any questions can come my way. I'll throw up my contact information in a little bit. But as I said, campus is very a friendly environment, awesome spot for internships, research, walkable in about 10 minutes from one end of campus to the other. So it's very residential as well. 2/3 of our students live on campus for all 4 years during their time with us at Mary Washington. So you get to know your professors, they get to know you because of our campus size. All right, so our student faculty ratio is 14:1. Average class size is about 19. So that'll begin as early as your first semester on campus. We want to make sure that you have opportunities from day one, and that starts with engaging in the classroom with your faculty advisor and other professors. So if you would like to get into labs early on in your experience at Mary Washington, absolutely have the opportunity to do so. We just renovated the Jepson Science Center, beautiful space on campus, went from around 20,000 square feet to a 75,000 square foot research facility where all of our students really love to engage and do research from day one on campus. So whether that's professor-led research or student-led research, both of those opportunities are available for students from day one. Whether it's our business lab on campus, it's not just research within the sciences, right? I just spoke with our theater department, and they were doing costume design research. We have a thriving theater and arts program on campus at Mary Washington as well. So whether you're on the sciences to the humanities and everything in between, some really fantastic opportunities from an academic sense. And those were just the ones on campus, right? We have students doing fantastic research and internship opportunities off campus as well. That left photo is one of our students in Williamsburg, Virginia, historic Williamsburg, doing some excavation. We actually send tons of students to the Williamsburg area and across the country, even working at the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. through our historic preservation program. That's one of our top programs on campus. We were founded as a teachers college back in the day. So the College of Education is a big part of what we do as well. So those one-on-one interactions with faculty and staff really lead to success for our students. All right. So a lot of fun things going on campus as well from a club perspective. So student government's big at Mary Washington. We're a Division III school. We're in the Coast to Coast Conference, proud to be the Eagles. We have fantastic club and intramural sports as well. We actually won the national championship for rugby just 2 years ago. So fantastic club, intramural, and varsity athletic opportunities. As I mentioned, student government is a fantastic program at Mary Washington when it comes to the extracurricular side of things. But we even have an Eagle bagpipe band, a botany club, and a Quidditch team on campus. So whether you're into athletics, into the arts, or a number of other areas, we have opportunities for you in those areas. So, and not just on campus, but I mentioned kind of internships off. If you wanted to study abroad, that's a big part of what our students do as well. Around 1/3 of our students will participate in one of our study abroad programs. So 157 programs in 54 different countries. So some really great opportunities to experience other cultures around the world, an international institution, and bring all of that awesome experiences back to Mary Washington. So I always love showing this slide too, because that top right photo that's our president, President Pano, at one of our spring festivals. He's a fantastic guy, and you get to know him as well through your experience at Mary Washington. So really awesome connections with faculty, staff, students. It's a really strong community at the University of Mary Washington. All right, there we go. From an application standpoint, we are on the Common application as well as having our own Mary Washington app. You can see some of our deadlines there. We have early decision options, early action, as well as regular decision deadlines. Strong scholarships for our out-of-state students. I always talk about that. You know, some students are hesitant to apply since we are a state school, but we give fantastic, strong scholarships for our out-of-state students. And we even have a number of full tuition scholarships available to our out-of-staters. And I believe one or two Pennsylvania students are actually grabbing that award this year. So definitely something to think about. You can see where kind of the average profile for our students are from, you know, the general student to our honors program. Fantastic opportunities abound when it comes for scholarship and applying. And then, you know, lastly, follow us and feel free to connect with myself or any of our staff on campus. We're happy to set up a tour for you, give you a personal tour, a one-on-one opportunity with myself, info sesh on campus, or one of our number of fantastic virtual opportunities throughout COVID. So I'll drop that information in the chat box now, but thanks so much for your time.
And thanks so much to you and University of Mary Washington. Isn't this a fun way to view a lot of different schools at once? I hope that you're having fun, guys, but we still have 3 more schools to go. So up next, I have the pleasure of introducing to you College of Mount St. Vincent. And don't forget to put those questions in the Q&A whenever you're ready.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tyler Margolis. I am the Assistant Director for Admission at the College of Mount St. Vincent in Riverdale, New York. Just to start off with a few fast fun facts here. We were founded in 1847 by the Sisters of Charity. We are a 70-acre gated campus that overlooks the Hudson River. We're only 12 miles away from Midtown Manhattan, so Riverdale is actually located in the Bronx, which is one of the 5 boroughs of New York City. So we're only 12 miles away from pretty much the epicenter of the entire world. We're 1,800 students, so we're a relatively small school. Average class size is only around 20 students. For every 13 students, there's around 1 professor, so you'll know all your professors on a relatively intimate basis, which is really beneficial. On top of that, we have over 50 different academic programs, 13 different dual degree programs, and a plethora of internship opportunities, which I will get into later in the presentation. So just to start off, I'll go over a few popular programs. So nursing, biology, business, psychology, sociology are just some of our really popular programs on campus. Communications is also extremely popular on there just because we are in New York City, and a lot of people consider that the media capital of the world. We also have our honors program, which consists of the top 10% of the incoming freshman class and top 5% of prospective nursing majors as well. And they'll have a lot of cool opportunities, those students, such as seminar style classes, early class registration, and a variety of other perks. We also have 13 different joint degree programs, so we're a little bit smaller. We also team up with some larger institutions where students can either get their master's or a doctorate degree in a matter of 5 to 6 years. Really great thing that we're really proud of over at the Mount is our facilities. So while educating our students inside the classroom is extremely important, also educating them outside of the classroom is just as important. We have a business trading and research center where students can actually interact with the New York Stock Exchange. We actually have a live New York Stock Exchange ticker that's constantly going around. We have a variety of nursing simulation labs as well, which a lot of our nursing, science, and biology students will interact with. We have a TV studio and radio station where students will put together newscasts and record podcasts and radio shows, in addition to our Fischlinger Center for Public Policy and Research. Here are just a few areas of study that our students take part in. Like I said, we have over 50 different majors, but we also focus on our liberal arts curriculum. So if you don't necessarily know what you want to study when you're a freshman, that's completely fine. You don't need to declare a major until you're you're into your sophomore year. So you'll take a common core where you'll really, you can really experiment with different classes and figure out what you're interested in majoring in. In addition to our majors, we also have 40 different fantastic clubs and student organizations, such as our Black Student Union, our Dolphin Dolls, which is a dance club. We have a finance club. We have our Mount Media, which is our student-run newspaper, in addition to Mount Times, which is another student-run newspaper, our Student Government Association, Sports Business Club, and those are just to name a few. Also, we have a variety of study abroad opportunities as well with some of the countries that you see below. So because we are in New York City, we have a plethora of internship and job opportunities, just depending on what field you're interested in. A lot of communications and media students we've sent to ABC, ESPN, Atlantic Records. A lot of our nursing students and biology majors we've sent to Mount Sinai Hospital, New York Presbyterian, and some of the other larger hospitals in the area. And some of our business students we've sent to the New York Stock Exchange and JP Morgan. So no matter what your major is, we're going to have internship opportunity for that, just because New York City is so dense and so large with opportunity in a variety of fields. Residential life, about 70% of our students live on campus in our 5 different residential dorms. We're actually constructing a 6th residential dorm called the Corazon Aquino Hall, which should be ready by spring of 2021. We're Division III. We cover everything from soccer, baseball, lacrosse, volleyball, basketball, and they actually practice in our Sharp Center, which is our brand new renovated gym. We also have a fitness center as well, which is newly renovated, as well as some newly renovated locker rooms as well. The all-important admissions question. So on average, students have a GPA of around a 85. That's mainly looking at your common core classes such as science, math, language, religion if you take one, English, and those real core competency classes. We did actually shift towards a test optional model for this past admission cycle. Students that did send in their SAT score or ACT score averaged around a 1050 or a 20 SAT or ACT. And we are actually free to apply. So that's a great thing. There's no fee to apply. A value of attendance, that's obviously something that's extremely important. So tuition is around $39,500. In room and board is around $12,000, but 100% of our students receive some sort of financial aid, and 100% of our students receive at least some sort of merit-based scholarship. As I was mentioning before, students average somewhere between $15,000 to $27,500 in merit-based scholarship. That's entirely based on your GPA. We also offer residence scholarships, alumni grants, and a variety of full tuition scholarships, as well as full room and board scholarships as well, which you could see on our right-hand section. Just to finish off, feel free to follow us on social media, either through Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and everything in between. I will drop my contact information in the chat function, so feel free to reach out, feel free to visit. We are visiting on campus, and look forward to seeing you there. Thanks, guys.
Tyler, thanks so much to you and the College of Mount St. Vincent. Our panelists are busy answering questions in the Q&A, so don't hesitate in putting your questions there. Next up, you'll have the opportunity to hear from Michigan State University.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dawn Walker. I am the Regional Admissions Counselor from Michigan State University who works with students in the state of Pennsylvania. I live in the Pittsburgh area and have been serving Pennsylvania students for over 6 years with Michigan State. I'm sure you all probably know that Michigan State is located in East Lansing, Michigan. That is about a 5-hour drive from Pittsburgh and a pretty short flight from the Philadelphia area. Lansing is the capital of Michigan, so it's a small city with lots to do. And if you're interested in government or politics, you're located really close to that. And East Lansing is very much a college town with lots of restaurants, art galleries, coffee shops, shopping malls, movie theaters, anything a college student would want to do off campus. The picture that you see in the upper right, you can see directly across that street some of our buildings on campus. So it's nice to know you're located really close to all of these things. Our campus itself is one of the largest in the country at over 5,000 acres. It's a traditional campus with a border around it and only our buildings on campus, lots of green spaces, lots of grass, lots of trees, lots of gardens. The picture in the upper left is Spartan Stadium, which sits right in the middle of campus. So no matter which residence hall you live in, you're just footsteps away from a football game. We have about 50,000 students on our campus, and about 40,000 of those are undergraduate. So we are primarily an undergraduate focused institution. This is really important when it comes to something like research. You're not competing with a graduate level student, and we are one of the top research institutions in the country, offering research in every academic area. Last year's freshman class was approximately 8,500 students, and about 27% of those students came from out of state. We offer over 200 areas of study, so pretty much anything you could want to major in, we most likely offer. Some of our most popular and highest ranking majors include engineering, business, education, pre-professional programs like pre-med, pre-vet, and pre-law. All of those majors lie within 17 different degree granting colleges, 3 of which are residential college options. Residential colleges are a way that you can live with other students studying in the same area that you're studying, and your classrooms might be located in that same building or a building right next door, and the class sizes are a little bit smaller. So this is a way to make your world a little bit smaller at Michigan State. So if you like the idea of coming to a very large Big Ten university, but maybe you're a little bit intimidated by the size or the population, you can choose to live in a residential college and have smaller classes and a smaller community, but still get to take advantage of all the great resources of our big campus. Some of the things that attract students to Michigan State include 1, entrepreneurship. We've been ranked in the top 3 universities in the country for entrepreneurship opportunities by US News and World Report. This is in large part due to our entrepreneurship and innovation minor. This minor is available to anyone on campus, no matter what major you're studying in. If you are a business-minded student, if you have the ideas, if you like technology, maybe an idea for an app, this would be a really good choice for you. The Entrepreneurship and Innovation minor has maker spaces all over campus that have full of resources like technology, 3D printers. They're staffed with faculty and graduate assistants who can help you write a business plan or with your technology. Our undergraduate research opportunities are incredibly vast. You will have the opportunity to do research no matter what your major and no matter what year you are at Michigan State. Even as a freshman, you can work alongside a professional in your field. We have one of the best study abroad programs in the country. We offer almost 300 different programs. We travel to all 7 continents and over 60 different countries. We even have a program specifically for freshmen that happens before you even step foot in a classroom, before your freshman year begins. So typically in August, and it's a 2-week trip to the country of your choice. Of course, we weren't able to do that last year or this year, but hopefully in 2022, we'll be back offering all of our study abroad trips. We have over 900 student clubs and organizations. So no matter what it is you like to do outside of the classroom, if you play sports, you can play sports at the club or intramural level if you're really not quite at the Big Ten Division I level. If you are interested in Greek life, academic clubs, community service organizations. And if there's a club or organization that you want to be a part of that doesn't exist on our campus, it's very easy to start that as well. So talking about the application process, our application is available on the Common App, the Coalition app, and directly through our website. Our app usually opens about August 1st, and we'll be looking at your transcripts from grades 9 to 11, your GPA, but also the strength of your curriculum. And we do like to see AP, IB honors and dual enrollment courses. And we do require an essay, and we don't require letters of recommendation. But if you send them, we absolutely read them and take them into consideration. Here's the fall of 2019 freshman profile. So this is the middle 50% of that class. So kind of the average incoming scores, a 3.5 to a 4.0 weighted GPA. And though we are now test optional, so if you have not taken a test or haven't had the chance, or you're simply not happy with your score, you can apply without a test score. But if you have taken the test and you're happy with your score, you can submit that as well. The average composite ACT is a 23 to a 29, and SAT is an 1130 to a 1310. And here's our timeline. November 1st is our early action deadline. This will guarantee you maximum scholarship consideration and that you'll hear your admissions decision by January 15th. And great news for my Pennsylvania students, you are guaranteed the Pennsylvania Spartan Grant. This is $10,000 a year just for being a student living in the state of Pennsylvania. And then you can earn merit scholarship in addition to that $10,000. And this is me, Dawn Marie Walker. I'm the manager of Pennsylvania recruitment for Michigan State. My email address and phone number are here, and I'd be happy to answer any questions for you or talk about touring on campus if that's something that you'd like to do soon. Thanks so much.
Dawn, thanks so much to you and Michigan State University. Our final presentation today will be from the University of Pittsburgh.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. My name is Zach Rossi. I use he, him pronouns, and I am an admissions counselor at the University of Pittsburgh. I'm really excited you guys could join in and hear from really a ton of different schools this afternoon, which is great. So I know we've heard from some smaller schools, and then we got to hear from Michigan, which is a much larger program. Today, I'm going to talk about a school that's really right in between there, and that's the University of Pittsburgh. So Pitt is considered to be a mid-sized school. We have about 20,000 undergraduate students and about 10,000 graduate students. So definitely smaller than Michigan State, but a lot larger than some of the other programs you've heard about today. And we are actually an urban campus. So you can see in my background here, I have a picture of downtown or the city of Pittsburgh. Pitt is not located directly in downtown Pittsburgh, but it is very close, about 3 miles away. And so students can really work with the city kind of as if it was their campus. So not only do you have access to those different things that are located on campus, but you have access to the city in general. So I've got a few pictures up here on the screen for you. If you've seen any pictures of Pitt, you've definitely seen the Cathedral of Learning. It's that very tall building that's kind of focused in on all our photos. This is a building on campus that you would have classes in. There's a lot of academic offices located within that building, but just to show you that, it is really the heart of campus. Now, the university was originally founded in the year 1787, and you can see a picture of the construction of the cathedral in the early 1900s there. So the university has a really long history of academic excellence, which I'm going to go on to talk about. Now, when you go to apply, which I'll talk about the application process in a little bit, but when you go to apply, you do have to choose between one of our 5 freshman entry schools, and you can see those on the screen here. So we have the Dietrich School of Arts and Sciences, the College of Business Administration, the Swanson School of Engineering, the School of Nursing, and the School of Computing and Information. Now, all of these programs are located in the same campus. They're still on Pitt's campus in Pittsburgh, but they're really a way to kind of divide up our majors so you can really focus in on those core courses. Our largest school is the Dietrich School of Arts and Sciences. Of our 4,000 freshman students on average, about 3,000 of those students will go into the Dietrich School. So these are going to be things like arts, humanities, social sciences, and natural sciences. This is also the jumping off point for our upper level division schools, which are not listed here. But those are things like if you want to go into the School of Education, the School of Health and Rehabilitation Science, the School of Social Work, Pharmacy, kind of the list goes on and on there. Those are all programs that you would start in arts and sciences, and then you would move into those programs normally during your 3rd year in college. And it's just a way for you to really get acclimated to, first of all, college in general, the university and the city of Pittsburgh, before you have to decide on a major. So you might stay in arts and sciences for all 4 years, or you might move into one of those upper level division schools. You don't need to know that right away. You're going to work with your advisors to pick out the best path for you. Now, our College of Business Administration is a little smaller, normally about 350 students in that freshman class. The same with the Swanson School of Engineering, a little bit of a smaller program at Pitt, about 500 students. Now, for both business and engineering, you do need to have at least 4 years of a high school math up through either trig, pre-calculus, or calculus. And for the engineering school, you have to have both chemistry and physics. So if you are a junior or a sophomore this year, make sure you're getting those classes in for your senior year. Our last two schools, the School of Computing and Information and the School of Nursing, are our smallest programs at Pitt. Those freshman classes are normally about 150 to 200 students. And they're definitely a lot smaller than our arts and sciences program, but they help you focus in a lot more on those specific programs with really hands-on experiences right from your very first year. Now, when you go to apply, there's a few other things that you can designate on your application. The first is going to be that freshman entry program, but then you can also tell us if you're interested in our guaranteed admissions programs. You can also tell if you're interested in our honors program. And I'll talk more about, like I said, about the application at the end, but just be aware that these are also some other additions that you can look for. Now, one of the things that we really want students to focus on is the outside of the classroom experiences. Like I mentioned earlier, the city of Pittsburgh really is your campus. So there's a few different ways that we go about doing that. We do have an internship guarantee program that you can participate in. You can work very closely with our career services office to make sure that you can build your resume. They do mock interviewing. They host job fairs throughout the year, internship fairs. We also have a guaranteed program for research that you can start doing as early as your first semester freshman year. So you'll take a 1-credit class that'll really teach you the basics of doing research. And then in your second semester freshman year, you're assigned a research project to work on. Now, I think a lot of people have in their mind research and they're thinking about what's exactly on this picture, which is somebody in a white lab coat, maybe doing some pipetting. And research could look like that if you wanted to, but it could also be going out into the community. It could be working in the library with a professor. There's lots of different ways that research can look. So we want to make sure to get you on the track that you can ultimately start doing that research in undergrad as early as possible. Now, I said I would talk about the application. So I want to do that before we end today. Now, we have 3 different ways you can apply: the Coalition, the Common App, and the application on our website. Like a lot of other schools, you don't have to send in a standardized testing score unless you want to, but we're going to look at your scores if you send them, your answers to your short answer responses, your high school curriculum, to the level of classes they're taking at your school, and obviously your application itself with your transcript attached. So this page I have up on the screen is for this past school year, but we expect it to look a lot closer, a lot the same going forward. So just be aware that we work on rolling admissions and our application will open hopefully in August. So that would really be your next step, would be wait for that application to open and then connect with us online as much as possible.
Thanks so much, Zach, to you and the University of Pittsburgh. I'd now like to ask all of my presenters to turn back on their cameras, and we're going to go round robin in the order that you presented. Either what is your favorite event or tradition on campus, or tell us an interesting or fun fact about your school. So fun fact about your school or favorite event or tradition on campus. And we'll start with Marist.
Okay, so fun fact, which is actually pretty timely, our women's basketball team made it to the NCAA tournament this year for Division I. So they're actually playing tonight in the first round, and if you get a chance, watch it, cheer them on. But yeah, it's been a few years, so we're excited about that, and it's a cool part of having, D1, like I said, as a smaller school.
Yay, bring back the March Madness, right? John, I think you're up next.
Okay, I think I would say a fun fact about us, I'll keep it personal in my realm. I started as the director of bands 2 years ago, and we're resurrecting our band program after it being defunct for 40 years. And when I inherited our program 18 months ago, we had 4 students in it. We now have 38, and we've instituted a brand new dance team. And it's great because we get to offer up to $5,000 for students to participate in musical activities on campus, regardless of major. So it's a pretty exciting time for us to come here and do the arts.
Awesome. And at University of Mary Washington, I'll combine those 2 questions. Our fountain is actually chlorinated. So that's a fun fact because it's one of our biggest traditions for our students to jump in the fountain at the center of campus at least once during their time as an Eagle at UMW. So that's a fun one.
Great. So my favorite tradition is something called Spring Fest that we do every spring. Obviously not last year with COVID, but it's a large outdoor festival with music, food, student organizations put on different performances, like specifically our dance club. And I'd say in terms of a quick fun fact, we've actually filmed a number of movies and TV shows on our campus. So we filmed like Law and Order SVU. We filmed an Oscar Award nominated movie called Doubt with Philip Seymour Hoffman and Meryl Streep. But yeah, those are some two fun facts about our school.
So again, since it's March, even though Michigan State lost and we're no longer in the tournament, one of the most exciting things a student can do is to sit in the student section at the Breslin Center where basketball games are played. The section is called the Izzone, which is of course named after our wonderful coach, Tom Izzo. In order to get tickets for that section, you have to do a camp out. It's called the Izzone camp out. So people set up tents and sleeping bags and they spend the night outside waiting to get their tickets for the Izzone. But the fun part is Tom Izzo and the team often come out in the middle of the night and bring students pizza and talk to them and hang out with them and take pictures. So it's a really great tradition that our students absolutely love.
I think my personal favorite tradition at Pitt does have to do with football games, but it's something that is across the university as well. We have a specific cheer at Pitt that goes Allegheny, Gannett, Gannett, Gannett. And the first part is in reference to the Allegheny River. So as you can see in the picture behind me, Pittsburgh does have 3 rivers downtown. So we have the Allegheny River, the Monongahela, and the Ohio. So that first part of the cheer is referencing the Allegheny River. And then that second part, the word Gannett, is a Native American word from one of the tribes that was in the Pittsburgh region when the university was founded. And in their language, the word Gannett was an onomatopoeia for the sound of the river flowing. So essentially the phrase is the Allegheny is flowing, flowing, flowing. And that is our fight cheer, which like I said, you'll hear at football games, but also on t-shirts and around campus.
So fun. Well, audience, I hope that you'll take a look at these wonderful faces on the screen of professionals that are here to help you through the college search process, whether you've already started looking or if this is your first dip into the college search process. Don't hesitate to reach out to them if you have questions. There's someone like them at all the institutions that you're really serious about. With that, I'd like to say thank you so much for joining us. When you close out, there'll be a quick 4-question survey, so we hope that you'll provide us with some feedback. Sign up for more sessions. There's still an extra hour tonight, and then there is 3 more hours tomorrow, so join us. The recording of this session and all the sessions that happen tonight will be available at strivescan.com/Pennsylvania within 1 week. Have some fun with this college search, everyone. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.